Welcome to The Beam, where curiosity stirs conversations, taking us a step further into the future we desire. Here we bring you the issues that matter, the voices that challenge, and the insights that inspire. I'm Sunas Nathaniel, and now before we get into today's powerful conversation, let's bring you a spotlight. Stick with us. It promises to be highly engaging. We'll be right back.
The federal government, through the Ministry of Education, is organizing this training for 150 youths in Taraba State under the Technical Vocational Education and Training Initiative to empower young Nigerians with employable and entrepreneurial digital skills. Co-founded by the World Bank, the initiative aims to build resilient and inclusive technical education systems that meet the needs of the world's fast-changing labor market.
My role is to ensure that our training programs are well structured, competency-based, and aligned with labor market needs. We work closely with instructors, industry partners, and stakeholders to ensure that what is taught in the classroom and workshop reflects real workplace demands.
The federal government has set up the necessary system and personnel to ensure that the initiative, which is implemented in collaboration with development partners to strengthen the technical and vocational skills across Nigeria, will be monitored to ensure its success.
Our target is to make sure that we get market-ready individuals here, get them ready, impact them with the knowledge that they need in terms of the training, both on the theoretical aspect and the practical aspect. And when we are there, they will be able and ready for the actual Cisco exams. And when they are certified, they can take their next steps in choosing which particular field to expertise in and become specialists in, if I may say.
From the previous initiative that has been implemented, we look at some of the lapses and what went wrong with other initiatives, and with that we'll be able to put up structures that make sure that the implementation has a tracking, they track the progress, track the input, track what it's being given out, and the inputs of the students.
The government hopes to train at least 3,000 youths this year as the initiative moves to student-centered, demand-driven ecosystem through technology and smart financing.
Welcome back. Today we shift our focus from traditional power to a new frontier, artificial intelligence. It's no more just a buzzword. It's become a force shaping economic survival, political stability, and national relevance. And our central question today would be, how prepared are we to really take on the possibilities of AI in the world that has become fully artificial intelligence-wise, going into the digital economy? And joining me right now is a guest who is well-versed when it comes to AI. He is an AI leader and data specialist, a global perspective on national preparedness. That's what he does. He understands what it means to be really prepared for AI. In fact, he has been congratulated by the president and many other top officials as regards his work in the artificial intelligence industry. I want to welcome Abo Abel. He's our guest today. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Good to see you again, Nathaniel. Happy New Year to you as well.
Yes, Happy New Year. Welcome back again to the Beam. It's you have a very huge portfolio when it comes to artificial intelligence and data sciences and all the rest. So let us make it inform that the normal average Nigerian, in the possibility that they can understand where we're going to. We're talking artificial intelligence, AI readiness. We're talking rankings. We have Nigeria ranked globally 72nd. We have them in Africa ranked as 4th. And then the question is, what really is this national readiness for AI? What really is the ranking about? What really does it say?
I mean, that's a great question. I'm so glad that Nigeria is positioned within the top 100, but also within Africa as well, number 4 as well, within Africa. I think for me, there are a couple of opportunities as well. So readiness would be, we have an AI strategy, and we have a strategy, and obviously we've got some governance as a result of that strategy as well. I think for me, more importantly, where the opportunity lies is for us to rank from number 4 in Africa to become the leading in Africa. We need to start using artificial intelligence to solve problems. So I'm talking about tangible problems here. So we can use artificial intelligence to solve health problems. We can use artificial intelligence to solve agriculture problems. We can use artificial intelligence to solve electricity problem as well. So I think it's about solving problems. I think that's the reason. That's where we need to focus on right now. So absolutely, it's great. The ranking is there in terms of AI readiness, but also there's a piece that just came out with the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund as well, just about a week ago, talking about country that's ready and the country that are not ready. And I think that's a really great report as well. So it's about how ready the skills and our workforce is in Nigeria at the moment compared to other countries as well. So I really would like to say that I think we have opportunity to scale up, and we should be doing that as well.
Yeah, there's always room for improvement. So if we go to data compute and talents, they are now the strategic national asset of every nation. And then the question becomes: does Nigeria control its all assets right now, or are we just trading into foreign platforms and having the foreign decision makers make those decisions for us? What are you seeing right now in investigating the situation?
I think we don't own it, and that's the reason why I think, and that's just reflective. If you look at the recent figure that was put out by CBN and the balance of payment of the country, it sees that we've spent so much money around importing things, services, and data services is one of the services that we import as well. So, for example, your phone at the moment, your cloud provision in terms of where you back up with your pictures and all that, is in Google or some other country outside Nigeria. So the simple reality is that we don't have that. So this is what we need to do. We need to start building data centers that is localized in Nigeria, okay, that is functional in Nigeria and is for Nigeria. So we need to start focusing on building those technology services as well. And I think we need to do that because we're spending too much FX buying those services into the country rather than we creating those services and sending it across Africa. I think that's something that we need to do.
All right. Okay. So you're joining us via Zoom from the United Kingdom, and the question for me would be: in comparing the two nations or the divide, what do you see that they are doing over there that we need to start off now? Like we need to kick off and get into that sphere quickly.
So simply in the UK, we have what we call the growth zones across the UK. And I said this in my last conversation with you, if I can remember correctly. So the growth zones are zones where the government is absolutely looking to develop things like data centers, getting some AI readiness as well, and getting investment into those areas as well. And if you compare that with Nigeria, we don't have growth zones. Okay. So what we have is free zones, for goods and service, for goods mainly, not services. So we need to create some more growth zones in Nigeria, but also we need to attract investments around developing infrastructure. So these infrastructures are data centers. So at the moment, we've got Galaxy Backbone and some other players around Lagos. So we need to do more across the country, right? Nigeria is over 200 million people. We need to do more, and it's quite vast as well. So bringing those infrastructure is really, really important. Now, in the UK, the other things that we do is that we train not just private sector, but also public sector workforce to be AI ready, to be technology ready and technology savvy as well. I think we need to do more of that at the moment as well. So it's not just within government, but also in the private sector. What are we doing to ensure that when people are working, it could be a guy that is selling something in Alaba, how can we ensure that that person is using technology to run their business very well, and the person is better trained? I think that's where the rubber hits the road. So in the UK, people are trained to use this technology. Investment are attracted into the country to expand the infrastructure. And I think finally, in the UK, for example, I'm a board member in Data Lab in Scotland. Now in Scotland, what we do in the Data Lab is we solve problems for businesses. So when they have real problems, we go there and work with them to solve their problems. And I think that's where we should be focusing on. It's about solving problems, using technology to solve problems, and not just about policies and framework, but using technology to solve problems that Nigeria has.
I like that. I mean, it's more like local hands building global brands by solving local problems. I think that's basically how it goes.
I
Let,
mean,
let, let us. Yeah, go ahead.
the way you just summarize it is absolutely important. It's so hard. Local hands using
Building
solving
global
local
brands
problems,
by solving local
building global
problems.
brand and by solving local problems.
Yes.
I think that's what we need to do. And as a result, we can then export these services, right? And these services can bring in foreign direct investment back into the country. So it's not just crude oil alone. All right. It's not just crude oil alone. We are also selling services, and those services can bring direct investment that we so need as well.
All right. Before we get into the break, let me just ask you quickly: what must Nigeria's president understand when it comes to AI in 2026, and why could his GPT strategy or the lack of one shape the country's economic and political future? How does that shape the future of the economy and polity in general?
I mean, that's a great question. I wrote the piece on Nairametric last year about why why the president needs a GPT strategy. So GPT is general purpose technology. Okay, so for everyone that is listening to me right now, what that means is that these are technology that shapes multiple industry at the same time. So if you look at electricity shapes multiple industry. If you look at mass production, if you look at the internet as well, internet has shaped industries as well. So I think that, in my opinion, the president needs to set up a committee, just like they did now with the tax committee. You can see the work that the tax committee did over the last 15 months and what they've achieved. The president needs to set up a committee that will look at technology across the country and look at the gaps and look at what we need to do to fix those gaps and how we need to fix it. And that committee will be specifically reporting to the president and bringing solutions back to the point that we made previously, solving our problem and bringing the solution that is required for Nigeria. And I think that's a focus. So I think that Nigeria needs a GPT strategy, the general purpose technology strategy, and I think that the president needs to push that. I'm so strongly, and it's something that I would like to say to the president and the key decision makers as well.
All right, you're watching The Beam, a place where the old is reckoned with, the future is interrogated, and indeed, power is held to purpose. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'm in conversation with Abo Abel. He is a data and AI leader and a board member of Data Lab Scotland. And we're examining Nigeria's AI readiness in 2026 and beyond, from global rankings to presidential elections and down to the digital economy. Let's continue and see what really this preparedness can do for Nigeria. Mr. Abel, let's get to some other things that concerns Nigeria, especially this year, because it's a year that defines the election, or it's a year that we build into the 2027 election. AI is big. It's beyond just people using ChatGPT as Google. The question then becomes, what really are we going to see AI do increasingly as we head towards elections? In fact, what really is the world going to start experiencing more in this year and beyond? And then you narrow it down to Nigeria's elections, to Nigeria's economy, and to the things and possibilities that we really think that AI can really achieve in this year and beyond.
That's a great question. I think 2026 is great. So one of the things we're seeing right now is the geopolitics that's happening around, not just from America to the Middle East and also to Africa as well, right? And if you think about the geopolitics, fundamentally underpin that are infrastructures. So it could be, military hardwares and all that. And most of them are propelled and used by artificial intelligence, right? So just to make this point quite quickly, in the very elementary level, AI will affect every software and every hardware. Okay, I'll repeat again. AI will affect every software and every hardware. And so once you understand that, then you understand that AI has a role to play, just like we've got internet, just like we've got other technology as well. So I talked about the GPT, the general purpose technology. And the quite interesting thing about artificial intelligence at the moment is this is the current general purpose technology that is going to shape the 21st century. Everything that we do. So if you bring it down to Nigeria, right? So we're going to have elections next year. But before we have elections next year, AI is going to shape what you see on your screen, how you interact with it. And that thing that you see on your screen will change your behavior and your thinking. Okay? And that's the reason why we can have things like fake news. People can create fake news easily right now. Right? People can say something is happening and that's not true. And you need to have another AI to counteract that to say that's not true. Right? So this is an information space, and fundamentally, AI is shaping information technology, but also the information warfare that we're having at the moment. And underpinning that is cybersecurity as well. So people can have the ability to hack into systems. So if you want to build system that's quite durable, that will be preserved. So let's use INEC, for example. INEC needs to build systems that people cannot hack into those systems using artificial intelligence as well, right? And at the moment, finally, I just want to make a point. That's what we call agentic AI. So these are agents that you can send messages to go and do stuff for you. And people will be deploying agents, agentic AI, into different facets as well. And I can see the pickle that we create for Nigeria, not just for Nigeria, for the elections and beyond as well. So, but we need to be ready. We need to be ready to counteract these things. We need to be ready to build technology and solutions, but also we need to be ready because these are the things that people will be using going forward in the 21st century. And that's the reason why artificial intelligence is not just a buzzword, it's something that will affect every facet of our lives.
All right. We're building regulations around the digital economy. I'm sure you're very conversant with that regulation and everything that is in play. How soon do you want to see this like rolled out, and what are you hoping that is really sacrosanct and really embedded in that raw the guiding principles upon which we're going to be running the economy? What are the things you really want to see like that will play out from this?
I think for me, safeguard is really important. Transparency is really important. Inclusion is really important, right? We live in a diverse country as Nigeria, multiple languages, multiple ethnicities as well, right? The North and the South, the way people behave differently as well. So these things need to be tested. And I think for me, it's really important for that to be deployed so that these things can be tested as well. So it's one thing to have rules, right? But for you to test if the rule work is that you have the players that will conform to those rules. Okay. So fundamentally, if those things are not deployed, then you don't know if they're working or not. And then you cannot make the solutions, or you cannot make the things that can change as well. So right now we know that we've already, from the 1st of January, we have the new tax law. Okay. And now the test is what we're going to see by the end of the year when people begin to file in their tax assessment at the end of the year. That's where the rubber will be tested. Okay. And you can see how the tax law has behaved. So I think it's really important. The same thing needs to happen in the technology space, in the digital economy space as well. So it's not just about talking and keeping things in shape. It's about testing it in the real world economy, and which is in Nigeria. And that's something that we need to do quite quickly as well.
I like how you put it, that the real world economy is in Nigeria, because indeed we're going to be having a lot of young people. We're going to have a very youthful population, and they're going to be interacting a lot with artificial intelligence. Let's bring it home a bit now as we try to close. We're looking at national strategies as we've started off, and we're looking at sovereign models, public sectors, GPTs, and AI-enabled governments. What should Nigeria be doing now to really avoid, that strategic irrelevance?
I think what Nigeria should be doing right now is to use our talent and even the limited infrastructure that we have to begin to solve our problems. I'm going to repeat that again. Use our talent that we have with the limited infrastructure that we have to solve our problems. Nigeria have a myriad of problems, okay? Social, economic, political, whatever that dimension of those problems. And I think we need to be solving them. One of the gap is that we're not using what we have to solve our problem. What we're doing is that we're looking elsewhere to get solutions to come and solve our problems. And that's not good enough. So if I were in the position, I would say the president needs to set up a committee that will do an assessment across the general purpose technology, look at that committee, make recommendation, and go and apply those recommendations. And once you apply it, then you test it if it's working or not. And I think that's really, really important. So, for example, we're talking about sustainability. The president is in Abu Dhabi at the moment, engaging in that sector as well. The world is moving. We cannot stop. But Nigeria has every capacity to leapfrog by using our talent to solve our problems. And I think that's something that's really fundamental.
All right, in 1 minute before I let you go, just tell us, how do you see Nigeria in the next 10 years when it comes to AI? Do you see us as producers, of the AI systems, intellectual property, and digital value? Or do you think we're still going to be just consumers in a world that's dominated by foreign AI powers?
I see potential to be producers, but where we are right now, we're consumers. But I see potentials to be producers. And for us to live from consumer to producers, we've got to do the same thing, the things I've just talked about. And those are the things that will move us from consumers to producers. And I think not just producers, we can be creators as well, right? And in creators, that's where we begin to look at the intellectual properties as well. And I think that's something that Nigeria has, and we need to do very well as well.
All right, thank you, Abu Abel, for your candor and for the work you're doing when it comes to artificial intelligence. It is really brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your time, Soonest. Thank you.
All right, that's it on the beam today, and we'll be leaving you with our top 5 videos as usual. I am Soonest Nathaniel, and I'm urging you, stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep beaming your lights where it matters the most. May this great nation continue to rise and flourish. Bye for now. This week we begin our countdown with a clip from Kogi, where some gunmen attacked the police headquarters in Obajana. In 4th place, we hear the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, state that Tinubu should sack him only if the president believes that he, Wike, cannot offer anything ahead of the 2027 elections.
If you're not doing well, nobody will talk about you.
Coming third on our list, we go to international politics, and there we hear an expert speak on how Maduro's arrest and trial will affect global politics.
Yeah. So look, let's call a spade a spade. What the US did was a pure act of unilateralism. Full stop. It was a unilateral use of force that was blatantly illegal under international law. No question about that.
In 2nd place, political analyst Laolu Akonde gives reasons why Wike is troubled with regards to the polity in Rivers State.
But the day of reckoning is not here yet for Mr. Wike, the stormy petrel of Rivers State politics and PDP politics. He still has the gunpowder, I imagine, to deploy in his effort to keep his political structures in Rivers State intact. He has a lot of money to sustain the fight, even if there are questions about how he possibly legitimately amassed so much of the money in the first instance.
On the top spot this week, Channels TV sports correspondent states that the game between Morocco and Nigeria was shambolic, adding that CAF wanted Morocco to be in the finals at all costs.
Not one yellow card. Victor Osimhen got injured. Semi Ajayi got injured. The players got kicked here and there. Alex Iwobi got tired of falling and standing up. Not one yellow card. And I told you that thing that referees don't like players doing that. After they make a call, you now kick the ball away. Easily. All my years of covering sports, you must get a yellow. You can give one yellow card.
That's it on our countdown today. Join us next week for more.